What if I told you that the most profitable coaching businesses in the world today were not built on complicated funnels, massive teams, and 60+ hour work weeks? Instead, the new era of hyper successful online coaches are what I like to call Russian dolls. You see, this is the exact same method that last year me and my partner used to generate $1.5 million in profit. And this is the exact same method that I've helped hundreds of other business owners implement within their business to make more profit and to work less. You see, the traditional coaching model is broken and the Russian doll method fixes that. So let me show you how this works. All right, so this is definitely the best method that I found for coaches and consultants to make around $1 million a year working around 20 hours, 30 hours a week when you are fully ramped up. Now, obviously, when you are starting out and you are implementing any new method, you will have to spend more time or you will scale slower because there is a lot of things you will learn along the way. But when you are in a state of being fully ramped up, you figured all the stuff out, these numbers are definitely achievable. So these are what you call Russian nesting dolls, and it will become very clear why I call the new era of coaches Russian dolls. So who is this for? This is important for us to dive in who this for, who's this not for before we go through this video. This is specifically for people who want a lifestyle business. And what I mean by that is you are usually time constrained. So you might want to work 20, 25, 30 hours a week, and you want to earn an X amount of income. This is where you will find that this method works the best, right? And if you are currently a coach or a consultant, you might be earning more than this, but you might be working like 60 or 100 hours and you're wanting to figure out how you could maximize leverage so you can be working less, then this model is very likely to also work for you. Now, who is this not for? Very specifically, if you want to build this business and then want to try and sell it one day, this is not the method for you, because this method is purely based around you as a coach, and therefore is just not something that is ever going to be sellable. You want to think of this as like a cash flowing asset where it funds your lifestyle and then you can maybe make investments elsewhere. Also, if you're wanting to build a massive business, 500K a month, million a month, something crazy like that, this is absolutely not the best method. The more traditional marketing and funnel methods for coaching businesses would work much better if you're wanting to go to like maximize scale 8 figures plus. And that also ties into like if you want to build a massive team and you're really wanting to impact like a lot of people in a direct way from like a team perspective, this also isn't the best method. With this business model, you can do this with a couple of people and a couple of contractors as and when you need them, absolute maximum. I see people doing this totally solo consultants with just contractors. Some people like to have someone part-time or full-time. First thing, subscribe to my newsletter. First link in the description. I break down more methods, strategies in that. Okay, so let's dive in. The old way of generating high-ticket clients for your coaching and consulting business was usually a direct response ad on Meta, YouTube, running them through a funnel and then basically trying to close them into a high ticket client. Now, although this method works well, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's a sales driven method. So if you aren't that great at sales, it relies heavily on that. And also you got to put a lot of money in front end to figure out what's working on the back end. So you might be paying $300 to $500 a call. You might pay less, but round number, say $300 a call. And when you're starting out, I bet your close rate is going to be 10%. So it's $3,000 to get a client. Most people's high ticket offers are around $3,000, although again, they should definitely be more. So this is quite hard and it requires quite a lot of financial investment. And there's a lot more moving pieces to this. It's not a simple model. So although I've done this with high degrees of success, when you are wanting time freedom, right? So again, like this model requires a lot of sales calls, and you're wanting simplicity, which is what the Russian doll method allows you, this is not the best method for that. So the new way is we ask people to flow with us rather than leaping, because the people who give you some money are more likely to give you more money. So the first thing we want is we want a follower. We really ideally want an email, but if it's an Instagram follower or follower for a social profile you have, as long as you can contact them, that is what I would class in this first stage. But email is definitely the best option. We then want to make them a customer. Now, what I mean by that is we want to have something small that they can buy from us. It could be a $1 thing. It could be a $100 thing. This maximizes out about $300, like $297. Because the people who've paid us some money, as little as $1, are exponentially more likely to become clients of ours in the future. So what we're doing is we're asking them to make small leaps in trust, and every leap they take, they're more likely to take the next leap. So your coaching business, consulting business probably looks something like this. You have a client you serve, could be a gym owner or a med spa, could be e-com companies, and you sell them a bunch of different stuff. So you might sell them Facebook ads, you might sell them conversion rate optimization, you might sell them email marketing, you might sell them SMS marketing, and you have all these different offers for the same avatar. The problem is with this is very complex. It's hard to manage, and also if you change one thing, it doesn't actually help with the other. So if you are coaching people on how to become, a PT or something like that, your offers are probably different. Like one could be build more muscle, one could be weight loss, etc. And when you're updating one program, it doesn't actually have a benefit on these other programs you have. So you're constantly in this like rat race of trying to update stuff. See, the new way is you only have one offer, but you have different levels of access. So you help one avatar essentially achieve one thing, but what you are now selling is proximity to you. And the reason you sell proximity to you is people buy more proximity because they want to speed up and increase the likelihood of them getting there. Because people do not buy coaching, they buy coaches, all right? So this in a very real way is exactly what the Russian doll method is here, all right? So you're in the middle, and then every layer out is further and further away from you. So the outside layer is something like a newsletter, a free community, could be on School or Circle, could be a social follower. Someone follows you on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever that might be. The next layer is someone that's giving you money. Now, these guys are exponentially more valuable than these guys. This could just be a one-off workshop is pretty common. So one-off workshops, templates, ebooks are the most common to do this with. And they can go from, like I said, $1 and they max out about $297. The next thing is a community or a group. And this is a paid subscription, and this is a monthly thing. So these are people who will usually have like 1 to 2 community calls a week. They'll put all their clients in one community together, and they also then help each other. This is, again, getting a layer closer to you. You might also allow them to DM you and give you like DM access. Level 3 is where it starts to get incredibly involved for you. And this is much more of a one-on-one mentorship style relationship where you might jump on unlimited calls with them. You might even help them build things out. So you might say, hey, you need to implement this funnel, and they might be struggling with a few things, but because they've paid for your one-on-one access, you might go, hey, listen, I'm just going to build this funnel for you. Don't even worry about it. The final layer is equity and partnership. So this is exactly what I did with Ramped. So I came in and I actually got a stake in that company, and I took like a good chunk out of the business because then our incentives aligned were to grow it. And then obviously I exited that company, and there's a video on this channel about that. So then just so a visual with the Russian doll, it's like newsletter, and each layer is getting closer and closer to you. All right. So when it comes to like filling up, let's call it the lead engine for this is much more of kind of the sales engine, it's like the offer engine, was typically this, like we touched on earlier. So you'd have like a direct response ad, you'd run to a VSL, you'd run to a survey, run a booking, you'd have a setter or a discovery call, and you'd close them. Absolutely nothing wrong with this model. I'm not throwing shade on it at all. This works very well for scaling companies still to this day. It's just a lot more time intensive, and there's a lot more moving pieces. Like you have to know about doing VSL scripts. You have to know about sales, like setting and closing, and building these funnels. The new way in the Russian doll method is much, much simpler. So you have organic content, but this is absolutely not a given. To be candid and put myself out there, organic content has always been tough for me. So when I built my Russian doll, I focused predominantly running paid marketing because this is very simple. Most people think, oh, I don't know how to run out paid ads. I don't know how to build this funnel. This is so simple. You can set this up in an hour, and you could have never run ads before. Like, I'll just give you templates and you could just go ahead and do it. So this is much more of a marketing and nurture engine. So you reach out to them, whether it's paid ads or organic content, You collect their email, you can add them into your community. So this is what I'm doing. I collect their email for my newsletter. I also add people into my school community. And then I have low ticket workshops in that school community. They're around $97. And then within those workshops, I will give people the offer to work with me on a one-on-one basis. Now, again, like we touched on here, you can absolutely have a group coaching layer, which would kind of be between these. So you could have a low ticket, then you could have group coaching, and then you could have, a high ticket, or high ticket one-on-one could also be laid in with group and community. The nice thing about this is you get to decide how you want this to look. You absolutely do not have to, go, oh, this is how this person's doing it. I have to follow it step by step. Again, I will give you context. In Ramped, we didn't put all of our clients together. So we had newsletter, which we had obviously everybody on, and we had a lower ticket offer. But when we did high ticket, because the 95% of our clients were one-on-one high ticket, we actually didn't put those guys in a group together. We worked with them all one-on-one, and we had a group coaching offer below that where people could pay less because they got less of our time. Again, click the link in the description, all right? Shameless plug down below, right? So this is exactly mine. Right now, you are part of this and you're watching this. The idea here is I want your email to then start giving you more free content, more value. That content I'm giving you, I want you to go away and get a result. I want you to implement stuff and go and get the result, and you will see this will work for you. But the predominant way that I'm growing is Facebook ads. So newsletter ads, school ads, IG growth ads, right? These work well. It's super predictable, super scalable. This is how I personally like to do it. And again, like I touched on earlier, a lot of people are scared about this. This is so easy. It could be set up. I can literally give you templates where you download them and it works. Like that's what people get when they work with me. We collect their email and then we move them into the newsletter, obviously, and the school community. Not everyone has to join, obviously, the school community. It's up to them, but they're going to get more access to me. When you join the newsletter every week or a couple of times a week, I'll send you free content breaking down, how people are scaling businesses, how I'm scaling them, all insights and tips and tricks, right? The free school community, though, is also what has the paid products in. Now, these could be hosted on a landing page too, but it's very easy just having them in school. And then from that, obviously, people are in my sphere through all this, and then they can partner with me one-on-one, and we just work together. That's personally how I like to do it. I would much rather have a fewer amount of clients that I work with one-on-one rather than having huge groups full of people of like 200 people. It's just personal preference to me. Some people I know much prefer the group coaching model. I don't. I'd rather charge much higher ticket and work one-on-one with you and just absolutely guarantee that we are going to scale you to north of 100K a month. So this is what it looks like from the money and the offers perspective. So layer one, email, like I said. Layer two, workshops, $1 to $297 is about right. I think 97 is pretty solid for most people. Group coaching, it's $1,000 to $5,000 a month. Now you do have an option also of breaking this down to weekly, so like $250 a week for the $1,000. And the reason people like to do this is because it's like a buy now price. So people, it's like, oh, it's just $250 a week. It's very easy for people to kind of get behind that, as opposed to $1,000. They might like, oh God, that's a new iPhone or something like that. When it's, $50, $200, $250, it's kind of easier to get them in to provide value, and then they stay on. And then you can give them an option of a pay in full for the annual plan. Then you've got your one-on-one. So these can range depending on, again, what you're doing and where you are in your specific journey. So when we worked at Ramp, we did 18K and 24K. Like I think 20K when you are in like a very competent coach, when you're working directly one-on-one with someone, that 20K region, so like 18 to like 27,000 is like a really good spot for you to be charging. This also enables you to close 1, 2, 3 clients a month, and you are making significantly more money than you were previously. And it allows you to ensure that these clients get results because your attention is not split across other clients, all these other people, right? Now the equity, I'll be honest, I don't recommend this. It's complicated, it's convoluted. And for the vast majority of people building a lifestyle business, this demands more than that, especially early on because you're trying to turn someone's business and make it even bigger. So I would just skip the equity. So what does a client get when it comes to like each layer of this Russian doll? So emails, free content, school community, free content. Next one, workshop. It's a one-time thing. It's usually like an hour to 2 hours. It's usually an hour workshop, to be honest, and then like an hour Q&A is like a pretty good, like, broad generalization of how these tend to look. Group coaching, they get all the training materials. So all the workshops you do. So let's say you did, I'm just going to do it for my industry, but like cold email workshop, paid ads workshop, a VSL workshop, a ManyChat workshop, IG growth workshop. These might all be $100 or $200, whatever they are. When they become a group part of your like group coaching, you would just give them access to all of that. Same with one-on-one. They just get access to all the materials. You would then give them weekly or bi-weekly calls. These are usually half an hour. It's better to do more calls that are shorter because the purpose of each call is to give them stuff to go ahead and implement. But the problem is when you have like hour-long calls, they can kind of get way too involved. Early on, when breaking stuff down, they can be okay. But again, I would recommend 30-minute calls that you can usually get enough done, and do them weekly or bi-weekly. Again, how you spread these calls out really depends on you. Me as an individual, I much prefer to give people more calls to ensure that they are working well and everything's happening and they're getting it through at kind of the speed they want. But because I say that because I predominantly focus on the one-on-one style. So it's like weekly calls, you have my private phone number, you can just text me, I'll answer a question whenever you want. I could even help build certain things of like, hey, you want a funnel building, or you need help doing your ManyChat sequences, or you need help restructuring your offer, or you've got a problem with whatever. It's like, I can just even help do that for you to help speed up this process. Because the idea of the one-on-one mentorship is these are the people that should get from A to B by far and away the fastest. So what next? First link in the description below, joins my newsletter. It comes from my email. You can email me back if you want. DM me on Instagram at @officialandrewrun. If you DM me the word partner, I will know you're interested in working with me and finding out a little bit more about this, and you will be talking to me. So, DM me partner. And also, if you check out the video on this, it's up here. It's all the lessons I learned from scaling over 457 companies over the last 10 years. So I'll see you in the next one.